Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So welcome to this strategy guide video. In this video I'm going to show you the most common and in my opinion one of the best strategies to approach farming endless, so farming loot on 6.3 when you are in early / mid endless. So especially talking here about loot frequency and loot rarity, when your loot frequency is lower than level 95, I think this strategy is always a better. So it's always the best strategy you can use on 6.3. And this strategy is called AFK strategy. And it's called like that because it's a strategy of waiting. So you wait at the beginning of the game, you wait a lot, and you exploit the specifics and the unique features of the level 6.3. Now, another quick thing that I wanted to say about this strategy is that you don't really need that much research to be able to use it efficiently. You don't need to have many coins generation levels or starting coins levels. Of course, if you have them upgraded, they're gonna help, but they're not strictly needed to make it work. Also here, bit the swap rate, not loot frequency, not rarity. Of course, like the higher you have them, the better it is. But especially early to mid endless, you might have these levels not too high, and that's fine, And in terms of offensive tower, you're gonna only need splash, so no need to upgrade many different towers. You're gonna just need to have splash maxed in terms of normal research, and then you might just go with some additional levels here on endless for splash, maybe some more damage, some more projectile speed, range, but or projectiles count, but it's not really needed having these upgrades or even the abilities, having them maxed. And as well here in terms of inferior mining speed and the modifiers mining speed, of course the higher you have them, the more enemies you're going to be able to spawn, and so the faster you're going to be able to collect the loot. And that means that you can wait a little bit more at the beginning until you place a miner to still be able to collect the same amount of loot, in less time, because you're spawning just more enemies. But again, like I don't think it's 100% needed, especially early on when you don't really have that many upgrades. You can just go for whatever max normal is going to give you, or even some more upgrades if you have access already to early endless. But that should be enough. And I'm gonna actually show you now how the strategy looks like. And now this strategy, in my opinion, is especially good whenever you have a loot ticket and rarity tickets at the same time. So rarity tickets are going to increase the rarity of all your loot by 50%, and therefore this is especially good when you're using this strategy. If you don't have any rarity tickets, this strategy, and instead going for shorter runs on 6.3 and doing, like, for example, 4 runs in the same amount of time, is roughly the same amount of loot. Like, there isn't that much difference. Instead, if you have a rarity ticket active, it's significant, the fact that you get a lot better loot. So that's why this strategy works exceptionally well if you have as well rarity tickets other than loot tickets. And yeah, let's just start here and let's show what this strategy looks like. You don't need any abilities for this strategy to work. Now, the first thing that you're going to do is you want to sell the 2 initial miners that the game gives you, and then you want to place something in these 2 platforms, and in this one and this one. So these 2 damage platforms and then these 2 central platforms, you want to place anything. Now, in my case, I'm going to go for anti-air for the very simple reason that if I can get this upgrade here up to level 15, it's very cheap. Like, I think it costs around like 70 to 80 bits to get it. You're gonna make anti-air the cheapest tower in the game. It's gonna cost only 21 coins, and this is actually cheaper than experience modifier. So that's why in this case, for example, I'm gonna go for anti-air to fill the gaps. So I'm gonna place 2 here in the center and then 1 here on the right side. On this left side, I recommend to place a mining speed modifier. You should have enough coins. If you have max normal, you should have enough coins to do this. And these are the only spots that you're gonna need. Like, you don't need to place anything else at the beginning, all right? And now the AFK strategy relies on this unique feature of 6.3. The fact that enemies can only be spawned by miners. So enemies can only be produced when there is a miner that is mining a resource. Every time a resource is mined, then an enemy is going to be produced. Depending on which miner and which resource you're mining, you're going to be creating different enemies up to the entire set of enemies that you have here in the game, other than, of course, bosses. And that's pretty much how the base strategy, how it works. And then you have the core. Now the core is gonna be a huge help, and the very first upgrade that you're gonna get when you get 2 upgrade points is enemy speed reduction. This is super important because of the fact that it's gonna slow down how quickly the boss moves. And I've been able to see this by doing different tasks and just comparing the total game time, without getting this upgrade and getting it. And actually the boss takes around 3 more minutes to reach the base if you get this upgrade very early. The second upgrade you're gonna get is coins per minute. Because of the fact that here you're gonna wait until you place a miner, so you start spawning enemies, and so you start gaining a lot of coins, by killing enemies, you're gonna need as many coins per minute as possible. And that's why I recommend here to go for these first 2 levels of the coins per minute. So yeah, you're gonna be able to generate already 70 coins per minute. Of course, as I said before, if you have some more endless research and you have more coins already from your own research, you're gonna be able to generate even more. But as I said before, it's not needed. Like this amount of coins I'm generating, of course, they're gonna allow me to get more coins and eventually be able to upgrade my mana a little bit more. But at the beginning of like endless, and also halfway through endless, I don't even think it's needed. So yeah, the most important upgrade is actually not these coins per minute, but it's actually these 15,000 flat coins that you can get with these 2 upgrades here, level 1 and level 2. This is the most important upgrade in your whole gameplay, and the strategy works here on this level even on very early stages of the game, only because you have access to these flat coins that you can get, these 15,000 flat coins. So if you compare these 15,000 coins plus those little amount of coins you're going to be generating with the core, just with the core, without even considering your own research, you should be able to, first of all, upgrade up to level 5 the mining speed here from the core as well. Be able to place an inferior miner and upgrade it up to level 5, and be able to place a splash in another mining speed modifier, and be able to upgrade the splash up to level 6. That's the amount of coins you're gonna be able to get just considering the core, so without even considering your own research. So that's why you don't need that much research to make this strategy work. And now, what's the purpose though? If you might be wondering, what's the purpose in waiting that much? Wouldn't it be the same if I just place the miner now and I start killing enemies and I start collecting the loot now? You're right, and the main reason why this strategy works is because of the fact that the longer you play on any level, so the higher this number here is, this is something that you can unlock if you activate the statistics panel in the settings. And this is gonna allow you to see the in-game time. This is not the real time that I've been playing for this level, this is the in-game time. And because I have the speed up to the 3rd level, so that means that the game is moving 4 times faster than in real time. So that means that 1 second real time is 4 seconds in the game. And what happens is that the more you play on a level, so the higher this number becomes, the more rare the loot becomes. So when you kill enemies, it's more likely they're gonna be dropping higher loot. So for example, I don't know, very rare loot, epic loot, or even legendary loot. And therefore also biddes. Biddes is considered as legendary loot. And that's the whole exploit. So by not destroying any enemies, right, you are storing all the loot that you should get, right, because you're playing on endless, so enemies do drop loot, but because of the fact that you're not destroying them, the game is like storing it for you, so that as soon as you place a miner, all those first enemies are gonna have inside all the loot that you should have collected already from the beginning of the game. And if you consider this fact to the fact that the longer you wait, the more rare loot becomes, you see the whole picture, and you see why this strategy is so good. You wait so long, so in that way you're stacking as much loot as possible, and you are making that loot to be as rare as possible. And that's it. So that's why this strategy is so good. And this strategy is called FAK because of the fact that after you get enemy speed, so this upgrade here, and then you get the first 2 levels of coins per minute, you can literally go FAK. You're just waiting. You don't need to pay attention to the game. You don't need to place towers, to place modifiers, to upgrade things. You don't need to do anything. You just need to wait. You need to wait for the boss to do the whole path and the whole map. And yet the boss, if you get this upgrade here, so enemy speed as quickly as possible, the boss is gonna take around 12 minutes and a half to be able to reach your base after starting from the portal. And so the overall, the real gameplay time is around 12 minutes and a half, if of course you're always moving at full speed. Yeah, now I don't know if I explained why you place these 4 towers at the beginning in these particular spots. And the reason for that is because of the fact that you're making the path that the boss is going to have to follow as long as possible. And once again, that's giving you more time to be able to stack more loot, to have it become more rare, and so to just get better loot overall. So probably I said it, I just forgot to if I did it in that way. And yeah, so during this time, if you're playing on a mobile phone, you can literally just set up the game, and then you can just leave the game open. You can do other things. You can just take a look every now and then to see how much the boss is progressing and which part of the map is. And just be careful when the boss approaches here the very last turns, and the boss gets close to this scalar source. That's when you should start paying again attention to the game, and you should start getting all the upgrade points, placing the remaining mining speed modifier, placing your splash, and so on. So using anti-air at the very beginning so that you're saving as many coins as possible, right? Because you're placing the cheapest tower in the game. Then you're placing a mining speed modifier here, because this is the miner from which the inferior miner that you're going to place and that you're going to use to spawn enemies. And here is where you're going to place your splash as well, because this tile here has attack speed 4th effect, so it's an extra 70% attack speed. The one on the other side is only 50% attack speed. So yeah, that's why I think this one is superior. And also because of the fact that, remember, you're gonna still have enough coins even if you have no endless research. Because of the core, you're gonna have enough coins to get that splash upgraded at least at the level 5, 6. So yeah, that should be enough to deal with the enemies. And then as you're destroying enemies, of course, you're still gaining more coins. So you can keep on upgrading your splash during that very last stage of the game. So that's it. This is pretty much the strategy. Explains why it works, why it's called FAK. That you can just use it in the background. This game, you can just activate everything, and then you leave the game on the background. Every now and then you come to check, okay, how far is the boss, and yeah, so you don't have to follow it closely. And yeah, now regarding the timer, based on my experience on this new account, I've seen that placing the miner sooner than minute 46 here, it's always bad. You should wait at least until minute 46 to place your miner. If you have already some extra research, endless, so your splash is a bit stronger, your modifiers are stronger, you mine more Infure, and you have more coins passively and so on, then of course you can wait a little bit longer. But yeah, at least you want to wait until minute 46. So in my case, for example, I'm gonna wait until minute 48. All right, so it's pretty simple. I've tried to explain as many things as possible, as to how it works, why it works, and how you can use it yourself. When the boss here is close to the scalar miner, so scalar source, sorry, I recommend to go into your core and start getting all the upgrades. Now you're gonna do fully the left side and the right side. That's it. That's all you need from the core. And then you just wait, depending on how much research you have. You might want to place the miner right now. You can place the other modifier, of course. You place your splash. You don't upgrade splash first. You always place your miner. You upgrade the miner first, and then you upgrade the splash with the remaining coins. Remember? And well, in my case, I'm gonna wait until minute 48 to place it. So here we go. I'm gonna place it. I'm gonna upgrade it as much as I can, and now I'm gonna upgrade splash. So that's it. You go for the first two abilities here from splash, all right? And then that's it. Like, you upgrade it, you can keep on upgrading it if you ever need to, but you're gonna play for only a couple of seconds, like around 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then that's it. The game is already over. And yeah, you can see around 12 minutes and a half of gameplay, and that's the loot. So of course, because of the fact that you have waited for so long, you get all the loot at the same time, and you're making it to be as rare as possible. So higher chance of having legendary loot, epic loot, and just better items overall to place your custom maps and to get prestige tickets. Because at the end of the day, when you're farming 6.3 for loot, you're farming for that reason. You're not farming to get a ton of bidders, because getting a lot of bidders early, but then being able to progress more slowly and get loot frequency up to level 100 more slowly, it's worse. So that's why you're always the goal is trying to get as much loot as possible, and to be able to get as many prestige tickets as well. And that's it. That's the strategy. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you. Bye bye.